Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to the homestead. It's second week of May, early May, and I thought I would do kind of the first of our annual or monthly walkabouts 2025. Show you what's new, what's changed, what's happening. I guess the first thing to say before we do anything is to let you know that my father-in-law, Gita's dad, passed away a couple of weeks ago. I think many of you, if you've watched us over a while, will know that the reason we're here in Latvia is because we needed to leave the UK to come here to care for him, really, after he had a fall, and that was 6 years ago. And slowly he's declined over that time and sadly passed away a couple of weeks ago. So big change kind of in, I know you never really saw him on the videos, but a big change really in terms of what we're doing here. We're not going away. We're not going back to England now. We're staying here. Gita's mum's still here, obviously, and but it means some changes, and Gita obviously is a lot more freer now, and you might see her in other videos, and she can return hopefully to her art, which is what she did when we were in the UK. She had an art business, so we'll see what happens from that. Early days, but just so you know, really. So let's carry on with the tour around the homestead and take a look at what's happening. There's the chickens, who are doing okay. Funny things. I guess the only news with the chickens really is we have got one kind of tentatively sat on eggs. Had been sat on eggs for many days, and then this morning I noticed it wasn't and someone else was, and now it's back, so we'll see what happens really with those. We'll go down. I mean, you can generally this spring has been very different to previous spring. Last spring really hot, or May really hot, and April was quite hot. This spring we've still had snow. We still had snow falling last week. I mean, obviously it wasn't laying, but it was cold enough to snow. It's a beautiful day today, a bit breezy, but so things are only just out in bloom. If you can see the fruit tree there, fruit bushes, gooseberry, and white currant in the background, or red currant, I can't remember now. The apple trees are just in bloom. Bees are buzzing around. What's left of them anyway. So yeah, everything's very late, compressed. There's a lot of work to do now for us in terms of getting stuff out. Let's go have a look in the greenhouses, see what's going on there, what's ready. So as usual in the polycarbonate greenhouse, I've planted out the early salads. So just salads, pak choys, red pak choys, and then the red Russian kale, ragged kale at the end there. That's doing fine, and that the greenhouse is all ready to be planted out when that's ready. It's going to be late again this year for a reason I'll show you in there. But garlic over there. The garlic's looking okay. There'll be potatoes over on the hay over there. And all this area will get planted out in a bit later. Maybe I'll do pumpkins again like I did last year. We've bought more fruit trees and fruit bushes this year to get on top, get some more of that sort of stuff planted out, and develop the orchard area over there, which some people call a food forest, but whatever. Let's go have a look in the passive solar greenhouse. So there's one more apple tree to plant out down there. Lots going on in here. Potatoes, chitting. Okay, so we've got some brassicas here. They're looking good. They'll go out in the next couple of weeks. Everything here will kind of go out in the next couple of weeks, really. Tall cucumbers, long cucumbers, some watermelons, melons, more brassicas there. Some broad beans, I think, just coming up. Second set of sowing of broad beans are set out in the field already. Basil, very small. Some lettuces. I've got here 3 sweet potato slips that I managed to get off one sweet potato. I'm going to be doing some experimenting with sweet potatoes this year in here in the greenhouse and outside. I've got some other ones over there which were purchased from a DIY store. I don't know why they were selling them in Latvia, but they are. They're quite specialist to grow here. But tomatoes, they're getting better now. But a couple of weeks ago, I was really worried. They're extremely small, and some still are, but they are growing now. And the peppers as well. So I repotted everything with different soil. I don't know if it was a problem with the soil or what it was, or whether it was a problem with light or heat. I suggest a bit of both. And we had some tomatoes indoors with some tomatoes out here, and the same problem was happening with both. So who knows? And then these ones were the latest to be sown, little bush tomatoes. You know, for basically last year we were planting tomatoes out this week, I think, or next week. So you can see how small they are in comparison. But the rest seem to be catching up now, and I think they'll be okay. Salads down there looking nice. Beetroots down here again, ready to go out. As usual, I've got some salads and stuff planted in here. Chinese cabbage, which is starting to head up now. I think should be okay. I lost a few last year to what they call the little chafer bugs that bite the roots down. And a few more salads there. I think I'm planning here. I've got a few beans sown over here. I'm going to make more use of this space at the back, which originally was supposed to be a mass heater. I never really you needed it for that in here. I'll get that bucket, the tub out, barrel, and then maybe use this backspace somewhere. It is sometimes shaded, but I think for maybe growing some sweet potatoes at the back here will work really well. I know the barbecue's in here at the moment, stuff like that, but all that junk can get out. We got some. I left some cabbage to go to seeds, to collect the seeds, and also the pollinators are liking coming in here and having the flowers in it. So I sort of leave those in here really until the last moment, and then take them out. Some plants there that Gita's sorting out. Some corn salad, lamb's leaf, which again gone to seed. I want to save some seeds from that. So yeah. The new control box for the greenhouse should be installed in the next couple of weeks. That's nearly ready to go. Another job on a list of many that I'm doing. Yeah, so it's really good, really nice utility to have this greenhouse to be able to get stuff out here early. But and it stops the frost, but it doesn't stop the too low temperatures at night. But at least stuff. So maybe some of those tomatoes had suffered with the low temps. I don't know. It's really difficult to understand what's been going on. I was quite worried at one stage, but I'm not anymore. I think it'll be fine. 2 or 3 peppers at the back there that we bought, which were reduced, and brought them back to life, so that's good. Yeah, okay. So we've got fruit trees now, an apple here in the huiculture, and some fruit bushes, Sidonia, Japanese quince, and looks like a blueberry, or it could be Salsardalis in Latvian. What are they called? Honeyberry, yeah. And we've got some other bushes there ready to go out, which I think will probably go in the new garden. Leeks that need potting out really, but they're that's how I grew them last year, and they were fine. Let's just have a quick look over here. Gita's nephew came a few weeks ago and helped us. He brought some this trimmer kind of thing with a wheel on the end, a sharp wheel which could take down a lot of the brash trees up to about that kind of thickness. And he helped us clear a load of stuff out there, which and chop up all this firewood. So we need to collect all this and bring it up. But it's really kind of nicely cleared. I mean, some of these stuff needed clearing anyway because of the electric wires, but and then we can develop a path down to the lake as well in due course. But that's been really helpful, and obviously lots of work for us to bring on up, but lots of firewood, which is great. See, this tree's not even got any leaves on it or anything. A lot of them haven't got leaves yet, and it's the middle of May. Incredible. Doing a few changes with this. So we need to do something with the terrace. The birch trees are never a long-term solution, obviously, but they look quite decorative when they were done. But this has been all dug over now. Strawberries moved out over into the field, and then there's some onions here, and we'll do different, maybe some flowers and whatever here. We'll change it year by year. But they are the oldest newest strawberries. Sorry, left there for one last year. We'll get some fruit out of those hopefully. So the terrace all finished now. Just the last part done with the stones down there. Next job will be to put. I covered this in a video a couple of weeks ago, but we'll do some furniture for it, tables when I've got time. Change the benches here. If you remember, there was one long bench, a bit longer than these. I came out the day before the funeral of Gita's dad, and it collapsed. So I had to quickly knock a couple of together for some bits of wood I found, and some oak stumps. But they look nice. That's worked well. Flower beds kind of looking after themselves a little bit this year. We haven't. Gita's mum is not capable to do as much as she was doing previously, and we haven't got the time. So it's been nice. I mean, we've still got dahlias to come out and plant. They're indoors, fighting to get out of the box they're in. But a lot of stuff naturally comes up, which is quite nice. Brings some colour to the garden. You can see the dandelions everywhere. Which gives a nice colour, and good. It's nice for the insects, but I don't particularly like the dandelion seeds everywhere, which is how they've got to how they are. Oh, let's have a quick look at the orchard. So, Victoria plum, I think, this one. Whether there'll be any fruit, I don't know. This one might have got caught. This was blooming earlier. You see the cherries still in bloom. That needs to come down, really. We've lost one apple tree over winter and replaced it. And I'm not sure the fate of some of these other trees, but you can see that not even in bloom yet. Why everything, how everything is so late. Black currants, which slowly we've been cutting down and letting them regrow. But there's new plantings all at the back here, and we'll probably take some cuttings from these and softwood cuttings and from the bushes and get new ones. So there's some apples, plums, pears that are just coming to life. And there's Mia. She'll probably follow me around. So we're hoping, I don't know if I said in a previous video, but our last bee family died over winter. So the guy who does the bees is going to come and prepare the boxes to make it hospitable if a new family wants to come along. Yeah, just in bloom. We really want to get this area tidied up this year. It was an old oak tree that was felled before we got here, really, because it was dangerously leaning towards the house. Let's go and have a quick look in the garden, because there are some things happening now I want to show you. So most of the garden now is ready to be, well, with the exception of we need to get some more mulch down this end and on some of these beds. That bed over there has got broad beans sown in, so wait for those to come up. One of the problems we've really suffering with this year are moles. It's becoming a real pain in the arse, if I'm honest, and I need to do something with it. Moles, obviously they're not after our food. They won't eat the food, but they burrow around it and they cause damage around the roots. It's kind of a compliment. The moles are after the stuff, the worms and whatever that are attracted to good soil. So as we've improved the soil over the years, it attracts more moles naturally. If you're wondering what's going on with this bed and you've not seen the previous video, I'm running a trial this year of fertilizers. So in between each stick is 1 meter, so it's roughly 1 square meter, and I've got a different fertilizer in there. The moles at the moment won't be causing any damage because there's not anything sown in there, but they potentially could do later on. You can see that there. I'll link to the video in the top so you can see it if you've not seen it. You see there's fresh mold damage overnight coming around to the onions. That is just a nightmare. That will damage all the roots of the onions. Onion roots don't like being disturbed. Really got to do something about this. All around there. I don't know if you can see it on the nightmare. Absolute nightmare. So we've got 3 rows of onions. Three and a half rows actually. This is still on the old beds without the cow manure on, as we would normally do it, and then these have got cow manure on. These are kind of stir on usual sets of onions, only that these, if you remember the previous video I did on, a few weeks back on onion sizes, these were the bigger ones. They were sort of small golf ball size, and then these were more regular size ones. And there are some red ones over there, Red Baron I think they're called. There are some pink ones, but they've not done so well. There's not many coming up, so if there's not many, I'm not going to waste the space. I'm going to move them about a bit and utilise the space better. If you're wondering why there are wood chips all over the beds, it's because of blackbirds. Never seen that before. Blackbirds are coming and they're jumping around in the wood chips and flying them everywhere looking for food. Doesn't really do any damage other than it makes a bit of a mess of the beds. So just starting to work on the top end of these beds there, taking off the roots and redoing the paves. This has got the walkways. This has all got homemade compost on up to that bed there, and then the top one I need to redo, which is normally I have sunflowers in there. Peas, taking a slightly different approach with peas this year. I've decided to go with a net. Previously I've never really liked this kind of stuff in the gardens, but I thought I'd give it a go as I had this net spare. And so I just found some peas which would grow to about roughly this height. 2 different types here. I think mostly they're ambrosia. I can't remember the other one, but one will be a keeping wrinkled shell pea, and the other one will be a sweet shelled pea, so more maybe like a mange tout kind of thing. Mixed germination with the ones that are direct. So the problem that's been with peas is this cold winter we've had, and talking around just to make sure it wasn't just me, other people have are saying that their peas also have been suffering. And I even saw a video of a farmer up in Estonia who was saying his peas are suffering and they're only not that big. So it's not just here. They got hammered as well, these telephone peas, which are tall ones, hammered at the start of the year. I don't know if you can see all the leaves are bitten around the edges. I don't know what that is, whether it's flea beetle or something else. They seem to have got over that now, but it certainly knocks them back, stunts them, and you can see the ones around the other side. That's a different These were transplants, these here, and then those ones around that side are direct sown, so they're obviously a bit later, and they've taken a hammer in as well, but they seem to be catching up now. I think the cow compost has a lot of Bollander, it is in Latvian, white goosefoot, I think it is in English, seed in it, which is not a big problem. I'll deal with it as a part of the weeding, but I'd rather have the fertility any day and deal with a few weeds than the other way, than not have fertility and not have weeds, sort of thing. Yeah, strawberries, third bed of strawberries now. So each year we move it, we take the runners from the bed before and move them across, and then that will happen next year and the year after. So we'll always have 3 beds of strawberries with the year in between each bed. That's a nice way to rotate them and keep fresh plants. So yeah, that's about it really. Nothing. I've not had time to do anything with the big garden, new garden yet. Obviously, those 2 rows, the first sort of 3 meters are potato beds, so that will unroll first, and then the new garden will be the next section. But I've got to start too soon because I've got things I'm literally growing stuff to go in there, so it will force me to do it. A couple of leeks that I've left to go to seed. I don't know if any of these broad beans have come up yet. I don't think so. It's probably a bit early. More mold damage from the other side. Yeah. So there we are. So friends, there's a walk around, show you what's happening in early May, and then you'll be able to see things develop as the year goes on. A lot of the spoil from the walkways, which you can see there, I think, will be used to grade out the path in front of me between the garden and the house, which is constantly under attack from moles. But so it makes it a bit uneven for walking and running a wheelbarrow over the time, so it needs regrading to make it a bit easier. But yeah, there's a tour around the homestead. Hope you enjoyed that. Any questions or comments, do leave them below. Always happy to answer them. And I will say bye bye for now and look forward to seeing you in another video very soon. Bye bye.